Don't go outside, please. Stay away. This is because I can fix something.
That's Dennett.
Yeah, really funny.
Huh? I know.
Yeah, really funny.
Bunch of weirdos. A Brit,
From here you see
a precise check, a liability check. Pharrell,
we take off
Maurizio, the Italian.
the just the plastic.
He's getting excited. He's getting excited.
And,
I just thought I'd introduce you to the group.
Just the pressure of the air can really break
And then
it
obviously
again. So stay away.
the bike's got GS, Multistrada, they stop arguing, Moto 2, and over there
Italian bike, fragile.
Fragile. And then the scrambler, we had to park him over there because he always bangs into everybody with his tractor. Go and get the coffees. Go and get the coffees. Go on, off you go now. So I'm going to do a bit on the Moto 2 Daytona. I don't know how even to spin the camera around, so I'll try and get myself in the shot. There you go, that's me, Steve. I had a Street Triple RS before. There's going to be a lot of people turning up on bikes. I managed to get a bit of footage from Maurizio, the camera guy, earlier, and so I'm going to try and get that posted. But the Moto 2, so picked up about, I think it was the 7th of January, because it's the exact day, 7th of January 2019, when I picked up my Street Triple RS. And before that I had a 2015 Street Triple 765, the R version, which before that I'd always had sports bikes. I've still got a 1997 that I bought from new, Kawasaki ZX7R, and as I say, I've still got that. So, I worked away for many years, so I bought that brand new 1997 from Carnell's in Milton Keynes. But anyway, the Moto 2, obviously only 765 of them, as you know if you're watching this video, for Europe and the rest of the world, and 765 for Canada and America. But I'm really impressed. I'm 50, as you probably tell by the lack of the hair when I spun the camera around, so it hurts a little bit, but my body's getting used to it. So I was having sports bikes and then going to the Triumph Street Triple 2015, the R version, and I was really impressed. That was the first Triumph that I had. Then when they brought out the new one in 2017, I think it was the I bought the RS version with the Showa big piston forks and the Olin shock. And then to be honest, I didn't think I'd ever get one of these, and I went into the local dealer and asked him if he was getting any, and I thought Gran Canaria being small probably won't. But when he said one, I said I'll have it. I'm a little bit disappointed because since then they've actually got two, so I thought I was going to be the first one and only one in Gran Canaria. But then that's just being a bit greedy, really. First impressions, obviously the riding position, pretty sharp, but I'm only 5'9", but quite a little bit on the larger side, let's say, being kind. 100 kilos. I think with my gear on, I don't know, it's about 15 or 16 stone. I can't bother to work it out, I don't really want to know. But overall, the Street Triple RS, fantastic bike, fantastic bike. I'm sure the new one with the extra torque is even better. I haven't got a chance to try it, which I do want to do. So I've done about, I think, 1,500 kilometers on this one now. First running in bit was an absolute nightmare because you can only do, I bought it, my local dealer is 50 miles down the motorway, sorry, 30 miles down the motorway, about 35 kilometers, and from me, so riding it home, I think it was, I couldn't go above something ridiculous, 70 kilometers an hour, because there's only like 2,500 revs. But anyway, scared the life out of me in the dark, lorries coming up behind me. But got over that bit, then you can go 5,000 revs for the next 300 miles, I think is 6,000 revs, 7,000 revs. At the minute I can go to 8,000. So that's why, if you're listening to the videos, I'm short shifting, because that's why. Because now and again, a couple of times for your benefit, I have gone a little bit over, and for my own benefit. The exhaust, I was really disappointed at first. I thought it was really restrained. I was expecting better, but as the miles are, or the kilometres are piling up, that is sounding better and better now. But really, it's probably something to do with noise regulations. Doesn't really start sounding any good until over around about 5,500, 6,000. So anyway, brakes fantastic, but then I was used to some decent Brembos from the RS. The Öhlins front end, as opposed to the Shell big piston forks. Haven't had a track day yet, hoping to do one in about a month. If I've got the balls, there's another word for it, because at the end of the day this was an expensive bike and my missus wasn't very chuffed because she thought she was getting a new car. So anyway, but the ride, perfectly acceptable for day to day. You've got enough room to move around on it. Yeah, I'm really happy with the bike. As I say, it's just going to get better the more I get used to it. With my wrists and shoulders and whatever, there's enough wind protection, definitely. One thing I was a bit disappointed at the well, I say that the dealer's looking into it. There's a couple of little dents on the top of the radiator, I think maybe from shipping, so I'm hoping they're going to change that under, you know, under warranty. I've had the first service done, which is, you know, which is 1,000 kilometers, so that was done, and I've only had one decent ride out really since then, so this is the second one. Probably going to cover around about 100 kilometers today, I should imagine. But the bike, well, as I say, it's a cracking bike. So when I think of anything else, the quick shifter, obviously this got a blipper, and again probably down to the low revs, but I'm not really, you know, I'm not feeling that. I'm having to use the clutch. You'll notice on one of my other videos when you hear the clunk clunk, that's the downshift, and people are saying, oh, you need this. Maybe a technique. Never had a blipper before. Had a quick shifter going up on the RS, but to be honest, over the years I've never used one anyway, because I normally just dip the throttle and click up, you know, as with all my bikes for the last 20 something years. But anyway, I'll if I think of anything more interesting to say, I'd like to record us with the group, those guys that I ride with. We do rides from Gran Canaria, and last year we went to Tenerife, La Gomera, La Palma, 3 of the islands, and also then we went the other way from Gran Canaria, because Gran Canaria is pretty central, so we went the other way and did Lanzarote and Fuerteventura. So as I say, the guy here with the GS, Denik, he's Czech, and he's lived on the island for about 20 odd years. He had a Tuono before this, brilliant Tuono. He's a great rider, really is. He skis, I should imagine. He rides this like he's going down the Salem. Really good rider, really capable, really experienced. He's going to have trouble keeping up with him soon, because he's buying the BMW F900 XR, so he's got his eye on the new model, 2019 model of that. Sorry, 2020. And then this one here, Multistrada. Before he had like an old BM, and it was just a liability on it, really. I mean, it was, what was it, an R850 R, I don't know, I'm not good with the BM model designations, but he rode it like he was riding a 500 GP bike, typical Italian. When he was in Italy, he used to have a CBR 600 RR, which he crashed, and his mum bought him a Golf GTI to keep away from bikes. But he's back into bikes now. He's a good rider. He was on the, if you know, he hasn't got a lot of fear, put it that way, which is not a good thing in my view. But maybe he'll calm down a bit. So he bought this. There's a Pikes Peak version 2012, and he dropped it the other day. So hence why he's got all the cable ties holding everything together. And bless him, on the stand. Also, he's got a bit of an experience, but that's from the left the disc lock on there. And the scrambler, the guy with the scrambler, also a Czech. He lost the front end when we went, where was it, La Palma, ended up with busting his ankle. But the bike was proper like a tractor. I might post a video of that later on. He gets the ump because obviously he doesn't want people to see that he stacked it, but it was we shouldn't laugh, but it was entertaining. He was lucky, put it that way. That's why it was funny, because it could have been so much worse. And he lost the front, ended up, as we all have, at some point, I should imagine, because there's no ABS on that bike. And yeah, lost the front, went down low side, and he slid across the road and landed in like a parking bay, which was covered in pine cones, so it was pretty cushy where he fell. And but his head, helmeted head, luckily, just somebody must have stopped there for a dump on the side of the road, and literally there was a pile of human shit with toilet paper stuck in the top of it, so his head was probably about a foot away from it, to be honest. Anyway, so I'm going to go for a coffee now, and then I'll stick the GoPro on my bike going back up the mountain. At the minute we're in Aldea in Gran Canaria. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want, I'll do some more stuff, and if you think it's rubbish, then I won't bother. Alright, cheers, bye.